Oh yeah, that's actually a difference. Hey guys, really nice to see you in this super spontaneous flow constellation. I didn't I didn't expect none of this to happen now. So I'm I'm really looking forward to see how we're gonna flow. And then first of all, like the time frame. what what shall we It's incredible. Boom! It happened. I'm deeply impressed.
For me, I could go for probably half an hour. I've got to plug in my phone. Let's see. I think I lost my audio. Can one of you say something? Do I still hear you?
Yeah, we hear you, but if you hear us, I don't know.
Okay, I lost my audio here. I guess I pulled them out of my ears. I thought maybe it would come out of my phone.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
I'm back.
hi there. The question was, do we have an agenda? So, well, our frame is always
Let's see. Sorry, guys,
perm
I'm having a little audio issue here.
well, if yeah, I'll just start telling the story of how Patty and me met. Patty is a permaculture designer. So the frame that I left Patrick with was that when I come back to him, I want to be consulted in or to have a permaculture consulting for my home, and my home is planet Earth. So that's the frame. Mhm, mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like the only logical way to live on this planet.
Sure, sure. What do I think about what? I didn't hear the prompt.
Mhm. I mean, that's the frame that I left Patrick with to reconnect with it. So I suppose that would be the agenda also. And then Robert Julius also said, well, if planet Earth is our home, there's no place to import from, and there's no place to throw things away that I don't want to deal with anymore. So I have to deal with my own shit. So I sort of Okay. You mean like on the plate? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think that we put so much emphasis on the aspects of production, like growing and producing and harvesting, but equally important are the processes of decomposition and looking at all the surplus generated from our household or our cities, whether it's in the form of sewage or compost coming out or all of the other wastewaters coming out of our systems. learning how to reintegrate those into our food systems is vital. And so I totally agree with you, Robert Julius, that we need to learn to shit where we eat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sure, sure. I think you have to find somebody with a little bit of land, or work with your apartment complex and build a beautiful compost bin outside. Um, you can do the worm method, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
just
if
wanted to say.
you consume. What I heard was that you put some cooked food in there, and if you have some dairy or grease or things that are going to take a long time for the worms, um, that the best bet is to be able to find someplace, like cooperate with somebody outside. But like Nicco was probably alluding to, indoor vermicomposting system can consume quite a bit of your coffee grounds, some of the leafy greens, bread. But like you said, if you've got like last night's dinner leftovers, it's gonna get stinky. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there's probably other people with the same situation in the apartment complex, or nearby apartment complexes, and so, whether it's at a local park or someplace where a community garden, or at least like the seed of a community garden, could be offered. Like, I think a compost pile is a great way to seed a community garden. People start coming out there and adding to it, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, well, you can in return offer to take care of the compost. Like, you just say, okay, we're gonna make your compost, but we want to also deposit ours here. But your benefit is you get fruitful soil, or something like this. I mean, it can also turn out horribly stinky and um, or
You know,
not
I've, I
decomposing.
found I found compost is an interesting gateway into permaculture for a lot of folks. People who recognize the need for this nutrient cycling in our lives, kind of they get the philosophy, but maybe they don't have the skills yet for full on production. Working compost is, it's a little bit easier than growing vegetables, right? You just kind of mix it up at the right ratios and give some water and some oxygen. Um, but I've met a number of people, because I've worked with a lot of students of permaculture and also like young interns. And compost seems to be one, like, it's a nice alchemy. People appreciate the conversion of organic matter into nice soil. And then, obviously there's the next step of really harvesting the compost and then using it to produce. But as far as, I wouldn't quite call it a marketing strategy, but it's like how to hook younger people. Compost is an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start talking about the thermophilic natures of it, and heating it up. And while it's a relatively easy thing to do, it still carries a little bit of an exhilaration for folks when they stick a thermometer in there, or they feel it with their hand and they see it's, you know, um,
Full
uh,
steaming.
yeah, steaming and hot. And um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, people come into this permaculture stuff at different layers, at different levels. And I think recognizing like what demographic is attracted to what piece of it. So, for example, I meet a lot of homeowners, like couples who are probably in their 40s or 50s, and their interest here in Colorado is a little bit more on like water conservation, and they recognize some of the big picture pieces of the drying out of Colorado, and so they've got their mind there. I meet some older people who've maybe been in the corporate world for a long time, and they're just like they're coming into permaculture just to exit the matrix, so to speak. Like they've had some kind of awakening, and they just want to be more responsible for their own provisions and don't want to participate in a system that they don't appreciate. And then then you get some. Sometimes I get some young folks who are all about education, and they want to bring permaculture and gardening into the schools. And it's what I'm identifying right now is these different facets of permaculture, of this lifestyle, that seem to appeal to different people at different stages of their life. And as essentially evangelists of the cause, which we all are, paying attention to these different insertion points could be useful for us.
Mm-hmm. Nice one. I just wanted to add another component into the whole. Well, it was rather in the beginning of the whole composting idea, which is mushrooms. We've been talking about worms, and like I want to start a project here in Basel to make a laboratory for regenerative economy in city or in urban landscapes. And I think my best partners in this will be worms and mushrooms for the start and for the beginning, because it's just such a fascinating thing for people to look into as well. Also, you can hear the worms eating, and you can see the whole process going on. I mean, composting is fascinating. Things decay so fast, and this process of decay is somehow, I don't know, there's something to it. And mushrooms the same.
I got the opportunity to watch Paul Stamets in person, and it's beautiful. Like this genre that he's created, of it's almost like a rock star mycelium lecturer, where he inspires people so much, like they fill up auditoriums to come and listen to this stuff, and it has some entertaining components to it. And obviously his brain is so unique, the way that he thinks, and the numbers of different projects that he's been involved in. And the one that I saw was about feeding the bees a certain type of fungi that had a relationship with saving the bees. And that I never thought about bees eating mushrooms or fungi. I just assumed flowers and pollen, but apparently there's a relationship between the fungi and bees as well that he articulated, and just inspired the whole audience with his creative thinking. And this idea of creating a podcast around these topics, I say aim high for whether it's one of us as an individual or whether it's a team of people, but to recognize that there's like a hunger in the world for this information, and to pay attention to the style that we deliver, so that we can also become rockstar esque permaculture teachers. There we go. Oh, Julian's already there. Look at me. Look at him. I love it.
Yeah, Robert, you're muted, man. Thank you. Well, digital worms. It's a virtual vermiculture. Ingested. Oh, well, there we lost Patrick. Hmm. Well, I think it's one of things of our culture that we also started with, that we are so focused on yields and production that we lose focus on how things decay. How do things in nature turn back into the cycle of life at the end of their growth cycle, like our system right now, which is in a process of decay. And then I think the metaphor of composting fits really well. And there are also these guys saying, yeah, let's compost capitalism. And I like the concept somehow, because like our whole system is full with nicely functioning elements that, if we rearrange them in a way that supports the earth, supports us, we save a lot of energy in setting up those structures once again, and maybe failing at it. Also, Mhm. I guess we lost Patrick. Okay, okay, cool. Yeah, we could be prepared. Okay. Mhm. Something along those lines. We're still open for a name, I would say. Regen. Regenerous rock stars or something. Rocks. No, regenerous rocks and stars. From rock to star? Okay. Mhm. Oh, and then it turns out we have been the aliens all along on this planet. It's it's the plot twist. Yeah, it sounds like a great storyline. And then also we can meet the world with this incredible curiosity, like if you would be exploring an alien world, which we are actually indigenous to and we just forgot our connection to. her or to this system. And I can't imagine anything more interesting than getting to understand how the world that's growing around us works. And then you come to understand that this place is alive and that there are processes that are, well, they're complex, but we're capable of understanding them. And there's something really fulfilling to do so. And this is one of the things I would hope that this podcast can, how do you say, seed or something like this. Flowcast, the flow show. Oh, so well, um, I haven't heard from Patrick, so I think he's out. I like the electronic distortion of the virtual worms on his voice. Maybe it would make a very interesting remix or something, or like, yeah. Sure. Some thoughtful deep house. Instead of Alan Watts speaking, it would be Patrick's distorted voice. Yeah, it sounds relaxing. Uh-huh. Nutrient cyclists is also a nice term, which we are. Yeah, exactly, for the roadshow. Hmm. 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 Yeah. So yeah, shall we wrap it up or? Oh, we already did. Yeah, true. Okay. Well, then there are show notes for the next time, like an agenda or something. Okay. What what's the doomer? Ah, this. Yeah. To, well, I guess it could give an interesting game together with the doomer because yeah, the doomer doesn't your doomer find fascination in the process of decay either. Okay, so this could be like the storyline we can use. Yeah. No, I think the doom scenario is always a great start. Hmm. Hmm. Endings as a start. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. Okay. Mhm. I'll let him know. And he already proposed next Friday. Um, Probably, yeah. I'll ask him if he can have a laptop and on Fridays. Interesting. Well, radio region. Sweet. Well, okay. Um, if there's a niche, it's gonna be filled. That's permaculture uh, talk. Okay, yeah. And then also what I was thinking about is like recording hygiene, so that if people listen, um, like the clicking of of pens or the typing on keyboards or things like this, that we maybe always mute ourselves if we're not talking. Something like this, that we do a little introduction just at the beginning, like if you want to, yeah. Mhm. Okay. Well, 1721 on the 21st October 2022. Yeah, thank you for this another really spontaneous, super unexpected. Um, oh, by the way, I checked out some of the videos on your YouTube channel, and I am impressed by it, by their poetic quality. Yeah. I mean, if it's a squeaking, automatic stairs or I used it as a sound, addition to a soundscape that I was mixing, and it just you what? Um, well, I think the first thing you sent me was some sort of jam or something. I suppose it was Ableton. I'm not 100%. And then the other one I looked into was your morning thoughts. No, your dream that you captured, which was also fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, no. I sent him that video, exactly. Oh, yeah, I forgot about it. Okay, interesting. So he talked to you on this one. Okay. Yeah, hey. So yeah, I might have some other crazy guests as well. Um, mhm, mhm. Okay, so we have several formats. Perfect. And we can see which one is able to succeed as a regular. Yeah, sure. Cool. Sure. Warm greetings from here to you. Hear ya. Ciao.